We're going to be using is thermal imaging. Why would we want thermal imaging instead of a ghost hunt?
Oh, so you can see like the heat thingamabobs.
Not heat.
Cold,
right.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
looking for cold signatures. No, it's not. Heat and cold are opposites.
Lack of heat. How about that?
There you go. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Good try, buddy. I'll take it. So you should be able to see me in there, right? Red, orange, and yellow guy. This will probably work tonight. That means I'm the hottest thing inside the video right now. So with bridal parties, that kills, just so you guys know. But at any rate, I make that joke on purpose because I want you to remember that I'm the warmest thing. Blue and black are going to be the cold spots. So blue and black, there's always going to be blue and black in the video, but what I'm looking for in this video when I'm spot checking it, what's moving, what's taking shape. And when I say take shape, I want head and shoulders, moving arms and legs. Like I want a full cold apparition right in front of us. It's what we've caught in the past. Will I capture small anomalies at the same time? I may, but we're also looking for 15 plus degree temperature drops. I will tell you it is, I think, exactly 80 degrees out here for us tonight, so I'm going to be looking for 65 degrees and colder. And the way I'm going to do that is a blue dot that's bouncing around your screen right now, showing you the exact coldest spot in the frame at every single moment. It's going to bounce around there to help guide your eye when you're getting your video back. And when I spot check it, for every 5 minutes worth of video or audio that's recorded, I listen to 1 full minute. That's it. So that way I can kind of go through it, and I'm only spot checking. The rest of it, literally the bulk of it, is up to you to find the rest. So relative to a stable, you're getting my point. So let's talk about all these communication devices. So that would be a spirit box, Ouija board, digital word list, and of course your spirit box as well. So what's the first question everybody wants to ask a Ouija board? Think of your TV shows.
Is anyone here?
Perfect. So let's say Holly asks, is anybody here? And Charlie hears the answer no. That means somebody's here.
Oh.
You guys get my point?
Yeah.
We're not going to be using yes-no questions all night long. You guys are going to go back to your homes and hotel rooms, and you're going to watch some paranormal TV shows and laugh your asses off because that's all they do. So the reason why is because you don't get paranormal evidence out of yeses and no answers. We're going after details, kind of like what Melinda's so excited about, taking pictures of every 30 seconds. So,
I'm sorry, this is awesome. I love this so much. It's just smile.
I'm even going to give you a link to the app so you can use it for yourself and like.
I'm not taking a picture of all of them, just some fun ones.
Just the fun ones. I love it. To me, they're all fun, but whatever. I can make a story out of all 87 that they had last night if I really wanted to. But anyway, we're going to go after the details. If somebody's here, tell me what color the big red barn is. Does that make more sense? Now we know we're looking and listening for the color red, right? Because that one we know the answer to. However, Julia and Charlie are using radio frequencies, DJs and song lyrics to be able to convey messages back to us. The word red might not be available. Fire truck, blood, heart. Those three things are specifically red. And I would take that as possibly being paranormal if something else was going on. Here's another example. Where's my word list? Of course. Let's say Melinda's word list has the word art on it. That doesn't mean anything to us over here by itself. Julia, here's the number 40. If you put the two together, Art Faircloth was number 40 on Big John's team. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? A lot of puzzle piece collecting. More like an escape room if you've ever done one of those, and it is so much as it is a ghost for. So let's talk about those cameras one more time because there's a little bit of extra things you need to know about. First off, again, no cars, no people, you got that. But with yours, Holly, specifically, she's got her hand right over the lens. She's like, why is it all yellow? But anyway, you are going to try to keep one of us in view when you're using that.
Okay.
The reason why is we are the warmest thing out here. That's why I make that joke at the beginning. So much easier to find a cold spot if there's a warm reference of 97 to 99 degrees in here.
Okay.
The other thing, try to keep the sky out of view if you can.
Okay.
There's no surface on the sky. Yeah. So it's only looking for surface temperature. The blue dot will default to the sky because it doesn't know what to look for. So again, if you can, some places it'll be impossible.
Okay.
For both of you, so Cooper, you as well, the best stance for using these type of cameras is to stand still as much as you possibly can. If you're going to move around, move slowly like a sloth. Like that's the best way I can explain it. Simply because a lot of times, especially when I have 3 different cameras to watch, I will watch these on double time because I'm so used to watching these videos. I can spot something even in that double time. So the more you stand still, the easier it is for me to watch and for you to be able to capture something even watching it in regular time, if that makes sense. So the more you stand still, the easier it's going to be to find. Now with yours, again, you're going to want to debunk a lot of things, so you're going to want to move forward and move backwards, like obviously the thing with the vehicle you just had. I know you guys all wanted to leap forward to see like what was going on with the car. But again, without even looking at it, I can already kind of debunk it. ahead of time. So again, I want you to move forward and get close to things and kind of see how things are moving. With that particular camera in real time, if it's something legit, it's going to be, if you see a figure standing there right next to me, and hands on his hips, I'm like, hey, if you're so-and-so that we're trying to talk to you, can you raise your right hand? They will raise their right hand. Like, that's the kind of interactions we're looking for with that type of camera. So that's when you actually fully have something going on that's legit. So, any other major questions about these devices besides the Ouija board? Yes.
Do you want me to do you want do you want me to only say the super clear things, or just anything I hear?
So you're going to give me all kinds of silly things all night long, and
Okay.
I want you to. You're going to have Tourette's syndrome. You're going to be interrupting me. If you're giving me too much, I'll say, let's tone it down, because that's way too much. Or I'll say, let me get through the history and kind of remember things that really stuck out to you.
Okay.
So kind of keep that in mind. So again, great questions. I mean, that's legit.
And just the stuff that he can hear clearly, or
Clearly.
the muffled stuff?
Muffled, I don't want sounds. If you hear moaning and somebody screaming, that's all BS from TV. That's not a real thing. It's, I don't want to know noises. Just give me the words, and I don't care if it's male or female.
Okay.
So again, that doesn't matter when they're using. Have you seen Transformers?
Kinda.
Okay, do you remember Bumblebee?
Yeah.
Bumblebee doesn't have a voice. He uses the radio to talk to people. It's the same thing. So just kind of think of that thing as you're Bumblebee. You're speaking for whoever's trying to come through.
Okay.
Is that easy to remember?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other major questions? Wow, you guys are all of a
Wait
sudden.
for instructions. No, but I just want you to know I'm not taking a picture of the screen of the new word. So you should be proud.
What is the new word?
I'm not going to tell you now. You're going to look at ours. Greet.
Great. So have you figured out how to get to the word list yet?
No.
There's a white box to the right of the word.
Right here.
Right there. Tap it. You'll be able to scroll through everything we've had so far with the timestamp. Just don't hit those red X's.
Symmetry.
Symmetry?
And then circle back. Yep.
Awesome.
2 little buttons, nice and easy. You need much further instructions because that thing goes much deeper. Have you had any numbers show up on your device yet?
Other than 0, yes. Above 2.5, no.
Okay, perfect. The reason why I'm going 2.5 and higher, that little blinky light device that I put away, the K2 meter, the first indication of paranormal activity is a 2.5 milligauss reading, which is why we go to 2.5 on this.
Later.
Your Earth actually
Later.
gives us a natural EMF of up to 1.1. So that's coming up from the ground. So those little 0.6 and point whatever, again, we throw those away. We don't need those. That's natural. We expect that.
America.
America, we'll take it. All right, let's go learn some real history. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, good deal. Wow. Lights that are around the wall, and if I stand in front of one of them, you guys are going to be blinded, just so you guys know. So that's the reason why I was like, oh, they're taking us to a dumpster. Awesome. But anyway, welcome to a parking lot. Congratulations, you made it. This is our first stop. So, those of you with cameras, if you want to go ahead and start them, by all means do so. But again, just kind of keep in mind if people are going to their vehicles, just point your camera in a different direction or make it look like you don't have a camera. Nice and easy. But anyway, what is this place? Well, I guess first let me start all communication devices. So that's Ouija board, digital words, spirit boxes. This is where I'm going to start withholding information on purpose. So this way you're not going to be looking for certain things. You're going to get the answers from your spirit boxes. I'm not going to give you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse, just so you guys have that idea. I want you to have a genuine experience. That's how this is going to go all night long. So, where are we? We are in a parking lot that used to be the Eliza and Charles Pinckney mansion. So their mansion used to sit in the front of this space, facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden, we're standing right in the middle of it because it literally went from where I'm standing all the way across. And then the servant and slave quarters were in the back of the space. So that kind of gives you a layout of the land. Now, who the hell were these people? Sorry, honey. You guys got me talking a lot. Melinda's got me chasing her down with her device, what's next? She's got me more excited about her device than I normally am. What's next?
I got a new word.
What do you got?
Possibly. And I had clean right before it.
Possibly
You had
is about as
clean?
vague-
Clean.
Clean, okay.
Like
He had
static clean.
unclean on the way here.
Unclean.
Temperature and unclean.
An unclean temperature. Yeah, I'm pretty sweaty already.
Yeah.
That's a pretty fair assessment. So, sorry, wordsmith. I can piece all this stuff together. That's the fun part. But possibly is about as vague as it gets. Just so you know, I'm going to use that term a lot. It's vague. So, where was I? Oh, we're at Eliza Pinckney Mansion site. So, Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Chucks. That's why we look for the secondary clues that I mentioned earlier. I need to know which Charles is coming through. You are killing me. I'm so curious to know.
Trouble and now symptom. Those could go with your story, I bet.
Actually, symptom is, it's there, but it's Come
That
on.
person's in trouble.
They have symptoms.
Sweat foot. Yeah, they're symptoms.
That is a big symptom. But anyway, the 3 different Chucks, if the name Charles comes through, I need a secondary clue so I know which one it belongs to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, with that, holy cow!
Trouble.
Get them, okay? Shut the sirens off. We got you. Oh, that's not good. Here, yelling at an ambulance. There's your symptom.
Symptoms.
Did anybody hear siren? What do you got going on? Nothing yet?
A lot.
Still muted.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
All right, so, because I'm making me lose my train of thought again.
Pink me.
Pink
Garden.
me.
Right
Charles.
there.
Yeah.
the 3
Garden.
Chucks.
3
Chucks.
Chucks, right? Oh, yeah, yeah.
Context clues.
Son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Big deal for us. I hate politics more than everybody here. We're going to move on.
Do they
Good.
do trading by any chance?
I'm sure they did.
What is that? Something to do?
Relevance.
You have trading on there?
I do. Trading.
We're going to be talking about Eliza, which is more relevant to her than it would be. You'll see.
Okay.
Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. If you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers from the colonial times of when women got married. I don't even call them women, they're girls between 12 and 14. Think of today's standards. The reason I say that is because her husband was over double her age when they married. Kind of a creepy age gap back then, creepy age gap now. So, but anyway, she married her husband Charles because her father was in England and he thought he was dying. And that's where Eliza's from, by the way, in case you didn't pick up on that. He's trying to bring all of his children home one last time. Eliza didn't believe he was dying. She stayed put and got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that particular year to get a green card. We're not a country yet. So she did marry him out of love. You can just wait 1 minute,
Sorry.
young lady.
No, I'm waiting.
So she married him out of love. If you're going to ask questions about their marriage, it was a true love story. Do not poke the bear in this specific location. This is a prominent English woman. If we piss her off, all activity stops. And that includes any EMF readings that Deanna's not even looking for at this point. So you're going to be studying that thing pretty closely as the night goes on, you'll find. But at any rate, she was correct. Dad didn't die right away. Instead, he started sending her gifts from England
We
to
are
where we're
glad
standing.
she-
One of those gifts happened to be
We
the
are
plant
glad.
seeds of indigo. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes her blue jeans blue. That's what we use it for now. When Eliza got her seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it cultivated. It's not always hot here. So when she figured that out, she learned how to make the dye, moved it to a cash crop plantation, and got a hold of her dad and said, rice plantations are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with the indigo. And now we have an international businesswoman during colonial times. Something absolutely unheard of. That's the boring business stuff with Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are all here. I'm also going to tell you that it is the month of June, and it is a little temperamental with Miss Eliza during the month of June. I don't know how this is going to go. If I call us back briefly, it's based on kind of the vibe I'm getting from what you guys are seeing or telling me that you've heard, and putting all the pieces together to pull us back quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each type of communication device and kind of give you a series of questions and something to focus on. So you can either ask them out loud or focus on them, whatever you want to do. There's no right or wrong way to do it. But if you stray away from those questions, just keep in mind, no yes, no questions of things I can't prove. If you want to ask things about the servants and slaves, unfortunately, there's no records. I can't prove any of it. So, Charlie, we're going to start with you.
Oh.
So, your questions, when we're going to be spread out in this location, you're going to ask about Eliza's death. You can ask her how old she was when she got married, what she died from, where she buried, and what president was a pallbearer at her funeral. Do you know what a pallbearer is?
No.
Carries the casket.
So
Okay.
there are people that carry the coffin to the grave, and it's an honor to do that.
Okay.
So there was a president that took her to her grave because
Okay.
it was an honor for that president to do that.
Okay.
So those are going to be your 4 major questions, and I'm sure Mom's going to be able to help you out remembering what some of those things were. Your 2 spirit boxes. Your in particular only gives us 1 and 2 syllable answers. So the mansion's not here anymore. What happened to it? When did that happen? We're obviously looking for a date. So it can come up as just numbers. If we normally
He
we
wants
get
to
the
make
what,
another.
we will normally get 2 or 3 numbers out of the date. And remember, by the way, all communication devices, if
That's
you're asking
interesting.
questions and you're focused on something, remember that the answer can go anywhere. You guys all watch the TV shows. You see where they put up 1 spirit box, ask 1 question, and wait? Yeah, I hate that method because it's a long time to get through it. So, Karen might be asking something, you 2 might hear it on your spirit box. We never know where it's going to go, which is why I love to do so many different types of communication device. So with your 2 different devices, they're actually going to be kind of the same focus questions. Eliza that we just talked about is the second wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. The first wife dies in January he marries the one we just talked about 5 months later. So 2 Eliza Pinckneys, right? Both Eliza Pinckneys
about
have a
something.
maiden name that starts with the letter L. You're going to hopefully find out what the maiden
Jesus
name
Christ.
is. You're going to be looking for the initials E-L-P in that order. So we don't want it convoluted or anagrammed in any way. E-L-P. So Melinda, with yours, I also kind of want you to focus on those marriage questions, simply because, you know, those are numbers, and you will get digits that will be spelled out or numerals on there. So last night we actually had one of those numbers show up, and it was relevant based on the question that we asked. So again, it did give us the direct numeral, so I was pretty excited about that. So we are going to spread out in this location. I'm going to keep Karen back with me. So Charlie, before we spread out, have you heard anything that
Yeah.
sticks out? What do you got?
He heard he traded for another,
What?
right?
He wanted to make another, or
He wanted to trade. He wanted another. He would trade, switch for another or something.
no, I forgot.
He wanted to get another or something like that.
I'm just going to put get another. How about
Okay.
that? That's obviously when I was talking about the wives, right?
Yeah. Well, it was before that actually, when you were
Okay,
talking about
so-
Eliza.
It's not like she doesn't know what I'm going to be telling
Yeah.
as I'm here 7 nights a week. Anything else specific that you heard?
I'm not getting something relationship.
Okay.
That's what I just got.
I like that. So also keep in mind, your guys' spirit boxes are slowed down. You primarily. What color is a big red barn? You hear Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I don't need Rudolph the Nosed Reindeer. That thing's slowed down. It's going to give us a bigger gap. We just need the answer of red. So
Okay.
when you give me a phrase like, I'm not getting something blank relationship, I look at the word relationship because it's really the only thing that would be specific to our location.
Okay.
So kind of keep that in mind. I do want you to tell me the whole phrase. Let me be the person to choose the keyword that might be relevant because, again, I know things you don't. All right, give us the last 5 keywords that you've been taking pictures of before we spread out.
Okay, I got after trading was insanity,
Okay?
boy, sometime, and now August.
Mm.
I like when we have something specific like August, but it doesn't relate to the word boy like I was hoping. So we're going to see how the rest of that plays out.
Okay.
So, again, we have 2 terms that could be relevant. I need something to verify one or the other, if that makes sense. So, Julia, get that thing unmuted. Let's get you listening in. Cameras, you should already be rolling. Just keep in mind that you guys got the rules about vehicles. I normally give that to the shortest person in the group. Like, I keep
Scripts
looking at
about
you going,
marriage.
what did it say?
Something about scripts about marriage.
We need to be more specific.
Okay.
So we got the word marriage. Let's try to find out maybe, well, you have the questions about her death. So go ahead and ask Eliza, you know, in a respectful way, how old she was when she died, or maybe how she died.
Okay.
Start off with something simple. All right. So everybody scram, have a good time. I'm going to catch up with Karen here, and I'll be bouncing around with all of you. All right.
All right, you want us to go? We could go together, and you asking it questions. You want to switch?
Yeah. Well, no.
Here, you want me to come stand with you, and we can ask it questions.
Yeah.
Eliza, are you here?
Here first.
If you're willing to talk to us, we would love to ask you some questions tonight. This is my son. His name is Charles, too, like your son.
F yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool, too. Are you willing to talk to us about your death? I know that's a hard subject to talk about. Would you be willing to tell us about how old you were when you got...
Something about how I die.
Would you be willing to talk to us about... Huh? I'm trying... Because they told me to put somebody in the screen at all times. Would you be willing to talk to us about when you died? We'd like to know how old you were, or maybe what you died of. Or anything you'd like to talk to us about, really. We're interested in learning about you. Do you have anything you'd like to talk to me and Charles about? His father's from England, too.
I'm just hearing a bunch of gibberish.
That's fine, just keep listening. My back is really hurting. So we're standing in your old house spot, Eliza, and we were just standing in the space of your old garden.
Abigail.
Abigail. If you have anything you'd like to share with us, we're willing to listen.
Mine's not very slow.
Yeah.
Trying to.
Are you trying to communicate with us? If you're willing to talk to us, we would love to talk to you.
Chevrolet.
We'd also be interested in knowing which president was a pallbearer at your funeral. We heard that you were such an important woman, so well known that you had a president at your funeral. We were fascinated by that. You must have been a really wonderful woman during your time.
Abigail had a good something.
Is Abigail somebody you know?
During the something sales event.
Especially be interested in learning about that president that was a pallbearer at your funeral, or maybe how old you were when you died, or what you died of, if you wouldn't mind sharing with us.
Five sometimes.
How are we doing with the spirit box over here?
Good. We've heard Abigail, 9, during a sales event.
Okay, that one's, we're going to watch that one.
After, we've heard Abigail twice. So we heard Abigail at the beginning, and then we heard another sentence about Abigail.
King and Queen or
King and Queen.
yeah.
King and Queen.
Oh, and when I had told her that my son's name was Charles too, she said, "Fuck yeah." You heard "fuck yeah."
Karma. Talking about karma.
I don't expect a prominent English woman
Yeah,
to be
just-
saying terms like that. But yeah, it seems like you guys are getting the gist of this, which is good, because again, that's not an easy job. So I guess the question for later on is how, like, do you guys watch these shows all the time? Like, are we watching YouTubers, the latest
I watch
method?
Sam and Colby.
Okay.
And we've done a couple. We have a lot of these tools, so we've done.
have?
Yeah, we have tried
Well,
to do
I don't
our
know
own
how to- I don't know how
investigation.
to
The
work
Spirit
a
Box
Spirit
is the one
Box.
we've been trying to learn how to use.
So and
Ours
it's-
goes so fast we can't pick up anything.
slow it down. What
Yeah.
type of spirit box do you have? Is it the little black one?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a way to slow it down.
Ah.
So the higher the number on your MS,
Tap.
that's milliseconds. That's
Okay.
how many stations it's going to go through in milliseconds. So the
Ah.
higher the number, the slower it'll go.
Okay.
So it's the sweep rate button.
Okay. All right.
So, I mean,
well,
I
then we
use one of
should be
those
able
too.
to figure that out. Yeah.
So slow it down to 350 because
Uh-huh.
that's the slowest it'll go. Do it in 15-minute increments until you get used to listening to it with all of the radio chatter, and then go up 50 every 15 minutes or
Okay.
so.
All
So that
right.
way you kind of school
Yeah.
yourself on it.
Okay. That's awesome.
And
Thanks.
use headphones.
Yeah.
Always use headphones. Again, I know that the SB11, you know, the one that I gave to Deanna and Julia, like that one, I love it, but it's open air. It doesn't use the adjustable noise control.
23.
It doesn't use it with the headphones, so that's why I keep it open air, so that way it stays as accurate as it
Yeah.
possibly can be.
Oh, that's
but
cool.
with beginners, if I would have known that you guys, you know, already had spirit boxes and things like that, I may have changed things up a little bit. But now he's getting a chance to kind of get
Yeah.
some training.
Yeah, it's awesome. I know we were staying at the Embassy Suites. We meant to bring all of our equipment. We were going to investigate it, but we forgot it.
I will tell you too, like I do a spirit box boot camp. So paranormal
Oh,
teams
cool.
will call me up. This is my expertise. Like obviously I have a lot of different communication.
Yeah.
tests. But they'll call me up because of what I'm able to do with those on any speed.
Oh,
and not knowing the
wow.
history.
Oh, that's
So,
cool.
Estes methods, like the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
So like I'll do a spirit box boot camp. And that's usually great for them because I take their new investigators and I literally, with every new location, I speed it up. And it's nothing but spirit boxes.
Oh, wow.
So like no cameras, no anything.
Oh, that's cool.
It
Yeah.
gets pretty intense for some of them.
Oh, I
because they've never
bet,
done
yeah.
it. And like, it's going so fast. I'm like, no, it's on the slowest method right now. Like, we're not even really started.
Yeah.
But again, it's the same.
Training your brain.
Right.
South Carolina.
I throw those away.
Mm.
So the reason why is you're
Knows where
listening
we
to
are.
Charleston, South Carolina
Yeah.
radio stations. So if you hear Charleston as well, I'm not going to write it down because you're going
Okay.
to hear it all night long. And normally the current year. So if you heard like 2023, you hear that all the time too. It's too easy. It's just as easy
like
as a yes/no
23,
answer.
yeah.
So that's why I throw those all away. All right, let me go
Interesting.
follow up with our
Fascinating,
word
yeah.
generator, and we may we'll give you another minute or two to see what you got going.
Okay.
There was some other
Eliza, if you're
questions.
still here, we would love to talk to you. I don't know.
I heard Eliza has everything these days. Something sounded like Eliza.
Wow. If you would be interested in talking to us, we would still like to. You want to walk back here by the garden and see? We're walking towards your garden, Eliza. If you'd be interested in telling us, Eliza, if you don't mind, how old you were when you died, we would love to talk to you and find out some information about your life. Sounds like you were a really prominent, successful woman. And we're really enjoying learning about you.
How do you something?
How many kids did you have, Eliza? Did you have any children?
Quality critter.
Walk over there to Julie and John.
And it felt good.
Wow.
Paul had died.
Paul had died?
Something had died. Thomas.
Thomas. Okay.
Kid.
Kid. Oh, I wonder if we were asking about our kids. Paul had died. Thomas. Kid.
Save up for $500.
Whoa. Anything good? We were coming to stand by y'all. You found anything? I'm gonna lean over here on this wall, I think. Back's killing me. Does anybody want to carry my purse? It's really killing me. If you will carry it for a little bit, I would love it.
He said that sometimes in this, like you can see, like sometimes this device can reach over 100. Because Julie and I were losing our minds. This was like 15.
Oh,
And
wow.
like that, I feel like that was when we were hearing like anything from
I
the
heard
device.
love.
Does anyone want to ask Eliza some questions for us?
Hey, Eliza. We've been over here. Charlie and I have been trying to talk to you. We're still interested in learning about your death, if you're
When
willing
did
to
you
talk to us
die?
about it, if you don't mind.
I would like to know when the house was gone. Because I don't know if I should say destroyed. Because I don't know that the house was destroyed. Just that it's not here.
Bottom?
Got him.
Got him? Mm.
Hey, Eliza, your small camera is I got hello.
Okay. Hey, Eliza, do you mind telling us about how old you were when you died?
Graduated, I think that's what I heard.
Will you tell us how you died? Eliza, if you don't mind, we're going to sit down while you talk to us. I'm going to lean over here on this wall.
But there.
Hmm? We'd love to know about your death, if you're willing to talk about it, Eliza. How old you were, what you died of,
70.
who was a pallbearer at your funeral. Well, thank you, Eliza. We appreciate you talking to us. It's been very nice of you to meet you and hear about your life.
And it's a new day, and you're married to something on those lines. Hey, Liza, I would like to learn about you, and I would like to, I would like to know some stuff about you. If you don't mind, can you tell me some of the stuff about how you died or how old you were?
All right, everybody, let's kind of go back to where we started. So, I'll answer your phone. what that bleed over means is while we were at Big John's, we could have had things come up from the Pinckney Mansion site, and we could have had, you know, vice versa, if you get my point. Even though those two ghosts are from two different centuries, they do go back and forth. So hopefully after we're done stirring things up in here, we're going to go to our next location, and hopefully you guys are going to get things from both locations at the next one. But at the same time, it's a matter of like, that's why we record as much as we can from the spirit box. I just let that thing run all night long, like we never stop it. So that's part of the reason why, like, he may not listen to it while we're in here, which is perfectly fine. We may get things while we're in here, we're just not going to know it, because I'm going to tell you what goes on in here, and then we're going to move on. But we're going to go down further, and now I say left. So, just because I don't like to be right at the end, because every ghost tour comes down.
It's really pretty down here.
Is that?
It's really pretty down here.
Oh, man.
Ralph, he tells the doctor, dude, you don't want to stay here. I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me to 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from some friends of mine, and you'll be safe and good to go. He takes him up on the offer. They became friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. He's proving his point that he wasn't after Amanda's money. Amanda gets wind. She's coming down so they can get married. Dr. Ladd becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. They're going to pass through us, so we're just going to split the seas here.
Sorry, guys.
You're good, you're good.
Thanks, man.
How you doing?
It's a hot one.
Yeah. It's cooler than last night.
Yeah.
And I know that because I gauge the temperatures.
Yeah.
Because it deals with science, and that's what we're doing out here. Of course, my smart-ass teenage daughter will tell you it's science. Because she knows I'm an English guy, and she has to annoy me with things. That's a normal size for a ghost store. Just so you know. Yep. See why I like to keep mine small?
Yeah.
I know everybody's name. There's a big difference. And by the way, have I screwed up anybody's name yet?
Yeah.
All right. I wasn't looking for kudos. I just want to make sure I didn't screw up anybody's name. Thank you. Pat myself on the back. All right, so back to Dr. Ladd. 3 items. You don't have to listen on your own, but it will be there if we indeed get one. But at any rate, back to Dr. Ladd and Ralph. They go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. That's how the hierarchy of Charleston works back then. So they go see Richard III one night, and they're arguing over the new actress in that play on the way home, because they're obviously friends walking home together. Dr. Ladd thought the new actress was great. Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It gets pretty ugly. They go their separate ways. So, Ralph has friends around town, as I'm sure you've guessed. He has friends at the newspaper. He goes to them and asks them to put an ad in the paper telling them to tell the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society, kind of glove, glove, slap, slap kind of mentality. Doctor saw the ad, but rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this once and for all, meaning somebody's going to die. Keep in mind that this whole argument started over a silly actress that neither one of them has ever met. So, they came down, they took their 10 paces away from each other, they turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he shot. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up, which is often what happened. However, Ralph has his one bullet. He puts it in the kneecap. I was going to have Charlie guess where the bullet went, but he had his eyes shut like he was so focused on something. But anyway, he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Dr. Ladd doesn't die. He drops to the ground. His friends picked him up. They carried him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later on November 2nd of 1786. Now, during those 10 days while he was dying, he refused medical treatment. You have to remember that this guy's a doctor. He probably tried to bleed out this bullet wound himself. His gunshot wounds were a lot different in 1786 than they are now. So, again, every tour will tell you to listen for those.
Point blank?
Does it say point blank? Nice. I'll take it. It was 10 paces, well, 20 paces technically. We're going to count them. But I'll take the point blank. But at any rate, so they're all telling people to listen for the whistles. What I will tell you is if you're going to try this on your own and walk all the way through the alley, I can't take you all the way through the alley. I'll explain because I've actually been kicked out of here. That's the fun part of the story, and I am going to get to it. But turn on your voice recorders on your phones and listen to it later on. Keep in mind, every local knows the story. Anybody walking up and down Queen Street or Cumberland Street is going to throw a whistle down the alley. We all do it. I do it every morning. So again, it's just one of those things we all do. Here's how I got booted out of here. You guys ready for this? People's like, I want to hear how the hell you got in trouble. So, the alley, this will also show you how I pieced together some of these pieces of history that we're discussing. This alley didn't go all the way through this way, the way we came in. There was a wall up there. The reason why is because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. It was called Cow Alley before it was Dueler's Alley. So that means those bricks on the other end are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down at the end of that, and fingerprint swipes. I used to take my groups through here to show the history of it. We all need to see that handprint and those fingerprint swipes to show how far we've come away from slavery. Like, it's a big deal, right? So November 26th of 2020, I took my entire group down there, because again, I was new at this, and they're all huddled around that brick, waiting for something to happen. I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. That kid's not there. That's the last place you're gonna find him. I'm trying to shoo him along, because it's also outside the kitchen window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm just trying to be respectful to the owner of the mansion, not knowing I was out of bounds for tours to be allowed to walk through after a certain hour. The new owner of that mansion came out screaming, "My daughter thought it was great because Dad's getting yelled at," and we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't do Thanksgiving simply because I was in upper management for Walmart for a good part of 20 years of my retail career. I'm never working Thanksgiving again. I'm just going to point that out. So, the next day was November 28th. The dates are relevant. I'm getting to it. However, I called my partner that I had at the time because I was learning tourism, and I told him what happened. He said, "Dude, you can't go down that far. You're only allowed to go down halfway, or you got to reroute your groups." So I decided to stay away from the whole hoopla down at the end. I'm going to reroute. But what I told my group that night was, I don't believe in the next story. I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. We're going to be discussing pirates next, in case you didn't pick up on that. However, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box before we left. I didn't tell them who we were going to be investigating. The famous female pirate Anne Bonny. So I went, well, hot damn, there we go. We got something going on. We get up there. I told what little bit I did know about piracy at the time, which I could wing it back then because tickets were much cheaper. But somebody else heard the number 300 come out of a spirit box. I didn't know what it meant. I wrote it down. I researched it the next day. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of a pirate trial. You guys are all nodding like, yeah, that's cool. No, that was shit for me. Let me tell you why. I have a master's degree in creative writing. Even though I'm a fiction writer, I still love facts and data, and especially when I'm doing this. I need to make sure like what we're discussing and what we're doing is legit. Like, so I can't take pirate stories that come from pirate lore. You know how many books I've had to read on pirate trying to debunk all of this craziness for you guys? So again, this next location is a hit or miss. Again, Pinkney was kind of a dud tonight, so that normally doesn't happen, just so you know. The next one is a 50-50 shot that she's going to be there at the exact same time that we're going to be there. But I will tell you, everything we're going to discuss came from a minimum of 2 resources, and worst case scenario, you learn a bunch of stuff about pirates that you never knew before. Because again, we're in Charleston, we have to talk about pirates apparently. I was trying to avoid it, that's why I used to go that way and just avoid the whole piracy craziness that goes on in the next corner. Anything going on with our devices before we leave the space and get out of this very hot area?
No, just me reading into it. There's SYN, the SYN, and then
B and MR. Those will make sense.
MR.
A and B are pretty easy going. So Cooper, just so you know, like this ivy wall behind me is not your friend. So when we do spread out in this location, it's all leaves. It's all going to look like somebody's on the wall, just so you have that idea. EMF detection, once we spread out, I'm more excited about the EMF on the back half of this space, simply because we do have 2 electrical poles in the corners and some parking meters on the other side. But yeah, video cameras, let's definitely get them up and rolling. Let's talk about why we're here, and then we're going to spread out, and we're going to do like what we did at the Pinckney Mansion site, hopefully with better luck. So we're here because of the powder magazine. That's the little building up there with the crosses on it. Those are not crosses, by the way. Those are earthquake bolts. If you're not from here, which you're not, earthquake bolts are turnbuckles. It goes all the way through the roof. So if we have another earthquake, you can turn them and tighten it, and it tightens up the building so it doesn't incur any further damage. So it's a great idea. It just doesn't work. So, I know, don't get too excited. You guys have seen them all over town in like Charleston charm, kind of pineapples and lion heads and all kinds of BS around town. Even the apartment building behind it has, earthquake bolts on both sides. So they basically crisscross, in the middle of the roof, if that makes sense, in between each floor. But anyway, those big crosses are part of the reason why we're here, which is why I bring them up. Those are the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston put in. The reason why is because that's the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. This building was being constructed at the same time that Anne Bonny was coming here to start her new life. This is what I call a familiar. You guys all watch the damn TV shows where they used to
Saudi Arabia.
What was it?
Saudi Arabia.
I don't know if that would have been a thing.
Yeah.
For her. Specifically. All right. I'll write it down when we get spread out. But anyway, so that boo buddy that they use on TV, they use that to try to attract the child ghost because the child would recognize it as a toy. Think of that recognition. The same thing is going on here. We don't have many buildings this old, which is why she is said to be here. Again, we do have some other buildings roughly around the same time era, but this is a common space for her, allegedly. When I first started doing this, I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing the whole pirate thing. But here I am.
At home?
3 years later. But the building took 10 years to build. For all of you adults, does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years? No, not at all. But anyway, right in the middle of it is where our history begins. So 1708. Follow me. There's a lot of twists here. We're talking about a crazy pirate king. So let's get into it. 1708, a young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormac. She comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Is everybody with me so far? Okay, the three of them are running away from her father's angry wife. How mad was the wife that they had to leave Ireland by boat to come here? There's no planes. So they landed in Georgetown. That's between us and Myrtle Beach. So about an hour and a half, 2 hours north.
Sorry, yeah, my back's killing me. I'm gonna
You're
sit
good.
down. Yeah.
I heard you say something about it on the way over.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Dad bought a plantation in Georgetown. Mom dies pretty quickly. So that means he's sending young Anne down here to be able to sell anything from the plantation to help keep things afloat. Hence the familiar building. So back home in Ireland, Anne was said to be a badass even back then. They say she killed a servant when Anne was only 7, 8, 9 years old. Remember, this is pirate lore. They say they killed her with a knife to the belly. So again, we have had the servant, knife, and belly all show up in the same evening from 3 different devices where the other 2 people don't know what's going on here, if that makes sense. So fast forward, the building's done in 13. By 1715, pirates are starting to come through Charlestown. Anne is pretty stoked. Why is she stoked? Because she's going to fall in love so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. It's a man's world at this point. The first guy she falls in love with, and I said first that way because there's a handful, and that's what makes the story interesting, and we're going to cover them all. So, first guy is James Bonny. You already see where this one's going, right? Dad didn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica. They got married. Anne Cormac is now Anne Bonny. That's where the pirate name came from. However, James Bonny, the new husband, is not Captain Jack Sparrow, like what she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy for the British. He's a coward. This is not who she wants. A few years go by, and she falls in love again. Guy number 2, John Rackham. They call him Calico Jack. This is the guy they based your Johnny Depp character off of, in case you were wondering who the hell this guy actually is. So, Calico Jack has his own ship, and he has his own crew. Anne wants to be part of the crew, but you can't put a female on a pirate crew because it's bad luck. Normally I throw that question back to you guys, but I get some really raunchy answers, and we've got different age groups here tonight. So, with that being said, yes, we get them all. So he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and look like the crew, you could be part of the crew.
That's the word moxie.
Moxie?
How do we penalize this?
So, if you dress like the crew, you can be part of it, but you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this. Why? Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. She gets it. It's a man's world. But now she's a pirate. Let's go. For the adults in the room, let's put 2 and 2 together. She's a female in his quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl. Then they're going to vote Jack off the ship as captain. He drops her off in Cuba before she starts the show. Have the baby here, come back later. We have no idea what happened to the baby, by the way, when she came back. So, again, none of my researchers ever found out what happened to the baby. Now, when she comes back, she's dressed like a female. This makes Jack angry. Of course it does. Now everybody's going to know he let a girl on the crew. While she was gone giving birth, he captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck. She's going to go flirting with that pirate crew to make Jack even more mad because that's who Anne is. So, guy number 3, in case you lost track. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy, to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack captured. So now we have 2 females, just like males, on the same pirate ship, trying to be pirates. This young lady's name is Mary Reed, hence the initials MR. So, Mary Reed went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Mary and Anne became lovers, that we can possibly speculate, but friends for sure. Now, the British find out where they are. They send an entire fleet of ships to come take down one measly little pirate ship. The rumor is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1 bullet flintlocks, right? Because they haven't been pirates for very long. They don't know how to use cannons. So, 2 ladies with 2 flintlocks against the whole fleet of ships is not going to work. They're going to get arrested. And as they're being arrested, she looks at her captain, her beau, Calico Jack, and she says, "I'm so sorry to see you here, Jack, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up a lot, just so you know. The judge wants to see the 2 men that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunken pirates that wouldn't fight. They're dead and gone. The 2 ladies go in front. They reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves. He doesn't give a shit that they're female. He's still going to hang them because they're still pirates. So they scream out, "We plead our bellies," basically claiming to be pregnant because you can't hang a pregnant woman at 1720. It's illegal. So he sends them both back to jail.
649.
He delays the hanging. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He brings Anne back home and bails her out. But she remarries that husband number 2, but guy number 4. Because we're going to count Mary Reed. We don't really know for sure on that relationship. She has 4 children, dies at the age of 84. What year did you hear earlier? 1894.
Something like that.
So as far as, you know, the whole pirate thing goes, there's a few things that I left out of the story, but you do need to know, like, that Mary Reed did die 5 months later in that Jamaican jail, from whatever pirates died from in a Jamaican jail. So again, most books will tell you that it
They're
was
just
something
not
simple like
good.
fever. I'm going to say, let's make it romantic and call it scurvy. Why the hell not? Let's make it bumpy and gross, now that I put that image in your brain. Here's the things I left out of here, because I'm not going to assign questions, and this is not a prominent English woman that we need to tiptoe around. So again, we want to poke the bear a little bit here and kind of get some answers. I left out the name of Anne Bonny's parents. So that would be the father and the mistress. So you can find those names out through your spirit boxes. I left out the name of the city where Anne grew up in Ireland. So that one has been coming up more and more. The name of Calico Jack's ship. And last but not least, an easy one, the color of Anne Bonny's hair. That's an easy one because it's red. So it's an Irish woman from 1700s. Now, everything else is fair game. If you want to ask something else or focus on something else, by all means, do so. Again, I'm not going to sit here and dictate what you guys do. You guys know what you're doing by now. And as we started going through this, I realized that some of you actually have equipment already. I'm like, oh shit, I'm just basically giving you a retrain course. But at any rate, I think Jelly's doing a great job. And I will tell you that this is not our last stop, but our next stop is, and we're switching it up a little bit as to how we're going to approach that particular location. So this should be very interesting to see how this actually goes, especially for you, because I'm really going to get you. You were super excited with over the phone today, so we're going to make you part of the next experiment. She's like, I'm all about it. Yes, excited. There's no needles involved. You'll be fine. So there are other tours that come in here. Hey, there's Jackie. She hasn't had those kittens yet.
Oh. Hey, pretty girl. Hey there.
She plays your belly, right?
Hey there.
I try not to get her fur on me because I have 3 wiener dogs at home.
Oh.
So, yeah,
Hey,
they go
pretty girl.
berserk whenever she brushes up against me. I used to call her just Jack, obviously based off the story, until I seen she was pregnant. I was like, oh, we're going to start calling her Jack. But yeah, Cooper, that's awesome. The fact that you're just like, I'm just going to throw it over my shoulder and see what we get later on. I love it. So I'm all about it, dude. I love when you're like, oh, I think I saw something. But you, it's like, I got to watch it now. So it's just like forcing me, like, I got to work instead of like, hey, I think I saw something at the Powder magazine. I'll make a note. And he's like, nope, I'm going to make you watch the whole damn thing from start to finish. Charlie, did you get anything else while we were sitting here? Or while you were sitting there, I guess?
I got something about love.
That's common over here, too. Based on who we're talking about.
What else did I get?
I wasn't paying. I need to do a better job.
Any other letters coming up on your end?
We'll start asking some questions.
Got something like yippee
Yeah, I got
ki
lots of words.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Alexandra, loss, front, legitimate, shooting, freeze, guide, rock, shameful, choose, mammy, written, and still. And virtual.
What was the last one?
Virtual. Virtual.
That is so funny.
Why is that?
That's part of the next experiment that I'm going to be putting you under.
Oh, well, good.
We're going to be putting you under some VR.
Oh, poor
Yeah.
baby girl.
Why?
Yeah. That is
Super pregnant.
not, like,
Big nose.
well, they all are. Again, I'm here 7 nights a week. Here's what I'm excited about.
$2,000.
Loss, legitimate. Shameful, depending on which part of the history I was on when that came up. Oh, mammy. I don't know who the servant was that she killed. It could have been a mammy. I have no idea.
Yeah. Was there any shooting involved?
We're near,
I got
we're near
2023.
Silver Valley.
Oh, well,
Told you
okay.
you're going to get
right.
bleedovers from that. But we're also talking pirates, so we don't know really where a shooting would belong.
Right.
I would wait to see if we had something else relative to that to make sure it was going to be tied to Philadelphia Alley. But you can kind of see where I'm going with that. Like, I like it either way, but I want to solidify where does it belong.
Sure, yeah.
So, all right, let's spread out, get you
All right.
unmuted for sure. Let's do this.
All right, Charles, where should we go?
So we should stand up to start.
There's actually, over by that wall up there, there's like a little bench if you just want to go over there and sit.
Yeah, help me up, Chris.
Okay.
It'll be just video.
Ow. Yeah, it's easier to do it myself.
I was getting up to help you out.
I know. I'm sorry, baby. I was stressing you. All right, Vianney, you want me to carry the purse? Are you good? Okay. All right, let's go up here.
I got Josh, I think.
You got what?
Josh.
Josh? Okay. That's absolutely terrible.
Skeleton. I don't see a bench. You can sit down somewhere. It looks like there's some places to sit down.
Yeah.
See right there? Mommy?
Yeah, let's go sit over there. Is there like a ledge?
Uh-huh.
What's this pirate's name?
And
Anne. Okay. Hello, Anne. We'd like to talk to you tonight if you're willing to.
So I figured I'd come hang out with you.
Yeah, yeah.
This is usually like my vaping break.
Oh, yeah. Vape away. Unfortunately, this one lives in a cloud of vape smoke, so it will not bother
I
him.
smoke a tobacco pipe, but I can't obviously handle all that and what I'm doing out here.
Oh,
recording, so the vape is
Yeah.
a substitute.
My husband smokes a pipe occasionally. I really love the smell of tobacco pipe. Okay. You
Where's
heard
he
anything?
at?
He is home. Yep. Yeah. Working. I'm a teacher, so I get summer off.
Oh, nice.
And so yeah.
What do you teach?
I teach, well, I've always taught psychology, but now I teach, this past year, I was SAT, ACT
Okay.
prep.
I was going to ask, are you like college level, high school
High school.
level? High school.
Yeah, 11th,
Psychology
12th
in high
grade.
school, really?
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's really awesome. It's just so perfect because they're like, you know, teenagers.
I've gotten a
Obsessed
lot of
with
stuff
themselves.
about money.
They're looking for booty and treasure, right?
Yeah.
Like $500, $2,000.
But also, remember, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, you said 500 and then 2,000. So I would look at the 5 and the 2 and see if it was relevant.
77.
Oh, that's actually relevant to the doctor.
Oh,
That's his birthday, 7/7,
Oh, wow.
July 7th. We
wow.
get double sevens down here all the time.
Oh, you know what? Hold on, let me listen to one of your earbuds. Can I have one of them?
Yeah.
I think it's funny how everybody just took a seat.
I know.
It's hysterical.
Yeah.
Normally my groups are just like the wanderers, like they just go everywhere. And everybody just like, oh, we're going to go.
Maybe I
everywhere else.
started the trend, yeah.
Maybe.
My fault.
No, the teenagers I had last night, like they were in a semicircle back there last night too. It was getting a little too much history for them.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, we're going to sit down through this one. So,
Problem?
Famous actor. Military. Famous actor and military. Those are both relevant.
Are they?
Actor from the last story.
Oh, yeah.
And then military, Thomas.
Uh-huh. Ah!
Boulevard, something.
Religion?
Religion, yep. Uplifting. What questions should we ask?
Anne, if you're listening, we'd love to talk to you tonight. We're really interested, especially in knowing where you're from in Ireland. What city did you live in? Or... time to replace?
Yeah, or
So
time to reply. And we were really intrigued by your store, and we would really like to know more about you. If you don't mind, could you tell us where you're from in Ireland? Melditch?
Never heard of that.
There's a lot of bugs. Should we stand up? Yeah. Max? I got Max. Alright, I need to stand up. I'm getting bit.
Okay.
You wanna walk around with me?
Whew. I'm dying.
Okay, what did we hear? Max?
Max, I heard 3.
3. Will you come tell him with me? June. That's the month we're in, so.
Military.
Military, famous actor.
Mm-hmm. Go over there with Julian Biano.
Let's tell him what we heard.
Okay.
I'm going to show them to you after the session is over, and then it goes into your data set with notes. All right.
Okay,
You look excited.
we heard famous actor, military. We heard
Max,
3.
3.
That's it, I think, right? And then some random gibberish.
Gibberish is always good.
Yeah.
Well, I guess on a side note, there was the actress that Dr. Ladd and Ralph argued over. So,
That's what I was mentioning. with
however,
her.
I have never been able to find who that actress was.
Yeah,
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, like I've dove into like all of the playwrights that were traveling through,
Yeah.
you know, during those times and try to like pinpoint it. Can't find any playbills at all that list who was actually in it.
Interesting. Yeah, that would be cool to figure out. God, it's so hard to go through all that history stuff too.
What I do for a living.
That's awesome. Cool.
You want to do this?
Wanna do this?
Yeah.
Don't hold that.
I won't. But I'm not very still.
What's the mute button?
The mute button's on the side. It's down. Yana, I can see you. Yes. Pop off. It doesn't move very fast.
Yeah. As soon as I'm getting only 0, as soon as I raise it up to be like, oh, this is giving nothing, the fans aren't here, it's like the 14.4 and the 3.
it down?
Oh, I keep seeing him and thinking that it's somebody.
Oh my
Charlie! It's a ghost.
Perfect ratio.
Never mind. I'm not good at this. Oh, my hand's covering it.
Hey, pretty girl.
What does the cat light up as?
Here, girl.
I shouldn't have told her.
You're crazy.
Alright guys, you got anything going on?
Pardon me?
Anything going on at all?
No.
The only thing I've been able to pick up, I'm doing this one now, is necklace. 875.
Set this up on your knee or something.
Hmm?
I set this up on your knee or something.
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give everybody a quick, actually how VR works in case you've never seen it before with imaging. I couldn't get my thing there. So basically what's going to happen is if I'm the environment, it's going to be telling the phone what to do, but I'm going to be telling the phone how to create an image at this point. So I'm just going to say random things around us so that way we kind of get an idea. Create an image of a park with several benches and 9 people standing around it with a full moon in the background. So as you say, I'm trying to create that, and then it'll give me 4 images to choose from. I use this all the time now for social media. So that way I can just put the Stories in a Cemetery stamp on there, and I can just plaster up there, and I now own it. So it's very cool because every picture is original. So you can kind of see how it gave me 4 options. There should be 9 people in there, full moon, park with benches, kind of get the idea. And you do it in a text string. And if I like one of them, I just open it up, I save it.
Wow.
So
That's really neat.
yeah, love it. I'm not a big fan of it for writers because obviously that's going to put me out of a job, and we can all tell a bot when we have one on the other end of the phone, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to use it for those types of things for sure. But that's basically how Melinda's device is going to work. But just picture, I don't exist. It's going to use our environment to be able to tell what image to create. So during this whole session, we may get anywhere between 1 to 6 images. So that kind of gives you an idea of what to expect. We're going to be keeping you guys under for about 10 minutes only. And the reason for that is this can get very disorienting. So actually, Julia, you will have a job. You're going to be the person that when Charlie gets too loud, you're going to be behind him, tapping him on the shoulder. so that way he can quiet things down. We do have neighbors on the other side of this wall, and other ghost tours will be passing by us. So what's going to happen is I'm going to hand you guys the gear. Don't put anything on
Julie,
it.
like rest it on me, and then like if you need to like lift your finger, because if you start tapping me randomly, I'm gonna get scared.
You'll be alright. We do the same. So just
Hold this one.
bring you my shortly.
That too, yeah. Thanks, something.
I don't know if this is relevant or not, but just when you told us to sit down on the bench.
Oh yeah, we can just put it on the bench.
Treat it like a sofa. You're at home.
I know. I feel like this is a hot spot.
Blindfold when I come back.
Not like
Just
I'm sure. I feel like, especially when right
Are you
here.
guys okay if I leave this bag here? Because I won't need it for a few minutes. So we're going to go right over there, and we're going to go learn the history of this space. So I'm going to have to use my phone because this is a visual thing.
Okay.
I'm a teacher too.
Oh, good. What
Cool.
grade?
I teach high school, 11th to 12th. What about you?
4.
Oh, nice. What county?
I teach in Atlanta, right outside Atlanta, at a Christian school out there.
Okay, we live in Douglasville. I don't know if that.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm in Smyrna.
Okay, awesome. Nice. What school?
Whitfield Academy.
Oh, I have dear friends that go there.
Turn that thing on record for just a second. So point it directly at me. So a few weeks ago, we were in here, and I just had a small group. I want to say it was like 4 or 5 people. And are you recording, by the way?
No.
Okay, I was
You
going
want
to
me
say. No.
Okay.
Not when you're in that state. It
Oh.
should always be horizontal.
That
when
way,
you are
sorry.
recording. So
Okay.
you're fine. I just want to make sure we weren't going to get a
Yeah.
sideways video.
Yeah.
But anyway, a few weeks ago, like I said, I had a small group in here. I could not get the feeling of spider webs off of me, and that's normally like what they'll say is when you're kind of being touched or somebody's brushing by you.
Yeah.
We watched the SLS video later on, and I had something on my left hand, and I'm going like this the entire time. There was a person touching my left hand at the same time that I was brushing something off.
Oh, that's crazy.
I will also tell you that this location is the exact reason why we have that camera. Somebody bought one of those big chunky monkey ones on my tour one night, and they were going to test it out in actual haunted locations. We had an 8-minute interaction with a figure inside these gates for 8 minutes. When I say interaction, hey Henry, if it's okay that we're here and we read some